Corrine Brown matters!
Corrine Brown. No justice, no peace. We can't talk for Corrine Brown. Our woman in
Give us some room. We cannot talk if we don't have room. Okay?
Can you please Corrine Brown? You use a charity to
She's not. We're feeling wonderful. If you would like us to make some statements, we will. Follow the rules and we'll talk to you. Don't follow the rules and we'll walk away. That's how we are.
Where and when?
Okay, Congressman.
Right
We're
now.
not going to be answering your questions, so don't ask them.
All right. Can you move them back just a tad? I see you're all
We can get in the car
there.
and leave however y'all want to play it.
We'll find out here.
Back up a bit, please, sir. Thank you, sir.
It is ironic that we are speaking in front of the Brian Simpson Federal Courthouse, for which Congresswoman Brown was instrumental in securing funding for. The construction of this very courthouse is but one of the many, many projects which have been completed in this community because of the efforts of the Congresswoman. The proceedings being held today do not come as a surprise to anyone in this community. From the moment the grand jury began its investigation, the government and its willing participants have willfully ignored the legal mandate of grand jury secrecy and have intentionally disclosed confidential information to the media and others. Congresswoman Brown is the subject of an indictment today, but in reality, she has endured a one-sided inquisition in the court of public opinion for over 1 year. Certainly, the timing of the government's demand that Congresswoman Brown appear today is, at minimum, troubling. We were advised by the government mere days ago that we must make arrangements for proceedings to occur today or that she would be arrested.
In Washington.
Even though the government was fully aware the House of Representatives is in session. Congresswoman Brown agreed to fully comply with the government's outlined procedures for turning herself in. She requested only one accommodation, that the turn-in be scheduled until next week when the House of Representatives would no longer be in session and no votes would be taken. Given the length of time that the Congresswoman has been under investigation, as has been so publicly reported, such request was not unreasonable. Yet the government refused to offer any accommodation so Congresswoman Brown could cast critical votes in Congress. During this time, at least 17 pieces of legislation were scheduled to be debated and voted upon. Other important pieces of legislation likely to come up were votes on gun control, immigration, the federal aviation extension, defense authorization, the Zika virus, and a health care bill on opioids. As a direct result of the government's arbitrary insistence that Congresswoman Brown appear today, and today only, or else she will not be able to vote on many, if not all, of these matters. The government's unreasonable demand not only interfered with her duties as a legislator, but it also needlessly deprived the 700,000 plus citizens in her district a vote. The government's refusal to honor this request did nothing to advance the interest of justice, yet did much to harm the democratic process. Its decision to treat Congresswoman Brown like a common street criminal rather than a sitting member of Congress shows that this is a politically motivated prosecution. The manner in which the government has handled these proceedings leads to the inescapable conclusion that it desires to improperly influence the upcoming election and undermine the legislative process. It is disheartening that while nearly 90% of black voters in Duval County are being disenfranchised in the local state attorney and public defender races, and while one of the few congressional districts in the state that has ever elected a black candidate is being carved into 6 pieces, This community's tireless advocate has been indicted. As terrorists walk free because of the incompetence of the very agency who headed this investigation, that same agency insists on expending the taxpayers' limited resources, hounding prominent black leaders here and throughout the country. Perhaps had it chosen to devote its resources more thoughtfully, 50 innocent people would be alive today. Make no mistake, the actions of the government will be under as much scrutiny at this trial as the alleged conduct of the Congresswoman. We will fight to ensure that the core values of the criminal justice system are not undermined, and that Congresswoman Brown's constitutional rights are honored and respected. We look forward to the opportunity to vindicate the Congresswoman who has fought and will continue to fight tirelessly for her constituents.
Congresswoman, are you?
Did
you commit fraud, Congresswoman?
Brief comment